Some are standing, some are in ruins, and a whole lot of them are covered in graffiti. Google Maps calls this place the architecture graveyard, but the word graveyard is not how Professor Mark Cabrina would describe it.
This is actually a living thing for us.
The correct name for this area is the Poly Canyon University Experimental Structures Laboratory. It may not be as catchy as architecture graveyard, but it's truly a working laboratory for students at Cal Poly University in San Luis Obispo.
There is some crazy, but honestly, it's also an incredible kind of rational. It's like rational expressionism.
This geodesic dome was the first structure to be erected in Poly Canyon back in the 1960s. It kind of looks like a piece of playground equipment, but Mark says it's a testament to the university's motto, learn by doing.
The geodesic dome is about how can we create the longest span with the minimal amount of material in the lightest way possible.
Over time, the architecture evolved. Take, for example, the Shell House. Built in 1963, the oddly shaped home touches the earth in just 3 places and kind of looks like someone draped a concrete sheet in the air. Actually, that is kind of what they did.
So it's actually the rebar draping in this position hung from a crane from this compression ring, and then is shotcrete all around it.
And just in case you're wondering, yes, students did live in this house up until the 1990s, and inside, it's pretty weird.
Yeah, you could get a nice, maybe a twin-size bed up here.
If you thought a home touching the earth in just 3 points was minimal,
I do not know what I'm looking at here.
you're gonna have to check out the tensegrity structure. It actually floats in the air.
Pulling this cable in tension, using these compression struts to then float this roof.
Experimenting with different materials is also a big part of what happens in Poly Canyon. Take, for example, the hay bale arch. Students in 2004 stacked up some hay bales like bricks and covered it in concrete, and they're waiting to see what happens.
So some of these experiments that you're talking about, they are long-term experiments.
Yes, absolutely.
The Poly Pavilion is a fun one. At first glance, it looks like one big spider web of concrete, but
Looks like it's one continuous structure, but it's actually made in precast concrete sections. It's made in our shop, down the hill.
everything you see in Poly Canyon was built by students under deadline, but not every deadline was met. Like this underground house, which is still not underground.
Never completed, but it's still here. It's still, again, like if you think about experimental structures, it's crazy strong.
Unlike most laboratories, Poly Canyon is open to the public, and you can literally walk or hike the trails and enjoy the living architecture.
From Cal Poly's Experimental Structures Laboratory, I'm John Bartell. Hope to see you on the Backroads.